All right, everybody. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, out of nowhere last night, announced that she would be dropping out of the United States House of Representatives effective immediately January 2026 on the 5th. And this is saddening because Marjorie was one of our only good politicians in Congress, in my opinion. She was one of the only people fighting for America first, for Americans, for American workers, for the First Amendment, for all of these things that it feels like Donald Trump in 2016 was fighting for. In fact, that's what he campaigned on. But the problem is, he's been putting everybody first besides us, the people who put him in there. And it's very sad because Marjorie Taylor Greene has said before, over the past couple of weeks, as she's really went hard against Trump for not putting America first, she's been getting death threats. She's been getting threats from people like Randy Fine, representative from Florida, who is very much pro-Israel over America. And it's been because of this issue of putting America first over Israel that she's got so much backlash. And it's such a shame that we're losing her because she is really good on all of the issues. She even went on The View recently, and she has gained a lot of support from people on the left, like Joy Behar, like Whoopi Goldberg, but even people from like Young Turks, like Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. Like, this is somebody that was really starting to gain a lot of prominence on both political sides. So the fact that now she has to resign because of all of this stuff is really tragic. It's a shame that we're losing her because, again, she is one of the only people in Congress that's actually working for us. So we're going to play this clip. It's a 10-minute clip, but this is her resignation video. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman.
This is very true. This is what we all say. We want somebody like this to be in Congress.
The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream.
This is so true. We've been talking about this on the show for the longest time. It feels like more and more we, Gen Z, are not going to be able to have better lives than our parents, and especially our grandparents. If you compare our grandparents' lives, their time in America, to now, we are living in hell. We don't get to enjoy any of the privileges that they had because everything is going to shit. Now, if you can't afford to be able to get married, if you can't afford to be able to have a home and buy a home, your wife, she has to work too, and she has to work full time as well. Now, she should be able to if she wants to, but if you have children, you can't afford to do all that. It just doesn't make any sense. Yes, you'll have to have most time both of the parents working full time. And then what's going to happen to the kid? The kid probably has to go to daycare. And daycare is very expensive too. Everything is so expensive. And it feels like, to go back here, Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the only people that is fighting for us, that is voicing concerns because she has Gen Z kids. And it feels like Donald Trump, he is so out of touch. He's a boomer. He doesn't understand what is happening because he's in his ivory tower at the top. And it's most politicians as well, by the way. There's only a few on the left, too, that are bringing concerns like this, like Bernie Sanders, like AOC. And I don't agree with them on everything, but it feels like there's not a lot of people in Congress, in politics in America, that are actually in touch with the issues. So it's a really big shame to see somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not perfect, okay? We know she's not perfect, but she is constantly speaking about these issues, and it is a shame that we are losing her.
And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time.
Which also, too, it didn't accomplish anything. It was literally all fake. It hurt a lot of people. It wasn't fake in terms of what it did. But in terms of the arguments from Democrats and Republicans, it was all fake. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed was people's jobs were taken away. The only thing that changed was people that were actually relying on government support didn't have that support. You literally changed nothing in terms of policy. You just hurt people more.
And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
That's true, and that's a shame.
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
Which nobody seems to be talking about on the right. If you're claiming to be the party of working people, wouldn't you want healthcare reform? Wouldn't you want some way, for some shape or form, to make healthcare affordable for people? I mean, it affects people on the right and left. If you're anybody in America, you have to have healthcare, and there's a lot of people that don't have healthcare, and it's because it's too expensive. So, God forbid, if something does happen, they're not able to get the care that they need. If they break their leg, or their job per se, or if they break their leg just in general, just as using an example, they're not able to get that care. Like, I know people that are a little bit older that have withheld knee surgeries because they can't afford the health insurance, saying, I'm just going to, do rehab on my own, look up YouTube videos. Like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. You should be able to afford a knee replacement if you really, and this guy had a big limp. Like, you should be able to afford things if your body needs them. If you need a knee replacement, you should be able to get the knee replacement. It should be relatively affordable. Now, I'm not a socialist. I'm very much on the right. But I think the problem that people on the right, particularly conservatives, which I'm not a conservative, what they have is they defend the corporations so much. Like, the corporations can never be at fault, ever. And when you do more research and when you understand that there are middlemen that are driving these prices up, that it shouldn't make sense, this shouldn't be happening, it's really frustrating. And when you're a working person, it's really, really angersome when you learn about all of this. So she's one of the only good people, again, she's one of the only people that are actually talking about this, and it's just so frustrating that we're losing her.
The House should have been in session working every day to fix this
She's right.
disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle.
Facts.
On television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas, they all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house.
Oh, isn't that true? Now, I'm lucky. Very lucky I didn't have to go through that. I live in an area where the cost of living is very low, where nobody wants to come here. But a lot of people, if you're watching and you're not in Gen Z and you don't get it and you're maybe a little bit out of touch, not as an insult, but there are corporations, BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard, State Street, who have lots of assets, and their financial interests are acquiring as much property as possible. And so what you will have is a newlywed couple, maybe an engaged couple, maybe somebody just in Gen Z in general, a single person who wants to own a home. And they go in these places, which are highly populated, right? You get a New York, California, Texas, Florida, stuff like that. And they are competing with companies that are willing to not only pay cash, because that's what these companies do, but they will pay thousands more than the other person who's a first-time home buyer, a potential first-time home buyer who wants a home for the first time. And of course, the seller's going to go with the person that pays cash, but not only pays cash, pays thousands of dollars more. Of course, I mean, it would be stupid not to. But this is what we're talking about. Nobody understands if you're not in it. And that's the problem. That's why people in my generation, people my age, are so angry, because nobody seems to be listening. And again, Marjorie is probably one of the only ones who's raising these issues, especially from the right. And it's a shame that we're losing her.
They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa-holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love, because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare.
Like, do you understand what you did if you're one of the people that were giving her death threats and were constantly berating this woman? If you're on the right, calling her traitor, Trump too, and we'll talk about him in a second once this video is done. But like, do you understand how America first this woman bought into the cause? A leader, a flawed leader, yes, but this is somebody who put her entire life on hold for a cause that she thought would help our country. And everybody just shattered her face, slapped her in the face, and fuck you. Just because you're actually going to act how we campaigned? Fuck you. Fuck you. They threw her in the trash. And she got nothing for it. She got nothing for actually being a leader and doing what the movement was supposed to do. It's so frustrating.
Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him,
which is very much true. And now you see the people like Lindsey Graham who are cozying up to Trump, because guess what? There are elections in 2026 and people are very fucking angry with them. But because Donald Trump's the leader of the party still, they're all going to cozy up to him because they need that endorsement. Because a lot of people, let's face it, like Marjorie said, are in a cult. They will do whatever Trump says. And we'll get to that in a second.
In the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021.
Okay, that pisses me off because she did all of that. She left her dying father for the cause because it meant so much to her. And what did you do? You slapped her in the fucking face. You shat in her face and said, fuck you. You are a traitor. That makes me so angry. That makes all of us so angry. This is one of the only people fighting for us. She literally left her dying father for you. If you're Donald Trump, if you're all of these MAGA people, she did that for you. She would put her life on the line for the cause, and you spat in her face.
My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs.
Which is a very good stance. Why should other people from other countries come in to do the jobs that Americans can do, that Americans are qualified for?
AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams.
And that's the thing. Trump, his best idea to combat the housing crisis, to combat the affordability crisis for Gen Z, the next generation that's going to have to start having babies pretty soon or else the country is fucked. His best idea is to go, let's extend the mortgage period, and while payments are going to go down by a couple $100 each month, the interest is going to be skyrocketing because now you pay 20 more years of interest. You're paying that much more money to the banks. It's just, that's all you could do. That's all you can do is give people more expense over time. That's all you can do. Inflation's going to continue to go up over time. That's just how it is. By working in the financial sector for a small portion of my life, that it's just what happens. But 7-8% inflation you adjust for each year. And that's what the best you can do. You can't say abolish property taxes if you have 2 or more kids. Percentage of the mortgage is taken away after you have 2 or more. Something, anything, any relief for people, slash income taxes for a year or something like that. Anything. If you're a family, you can't provide any relief. Insane.
Strongly against all involvement in foreign wars and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative.
Is that so hard? Apparently it is.
America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for.
Like, that's it. It is so simple. It is the most human thing to want to put all of these powerful people behind bars, to want to punish people that have raped and drugged innocent young girls. That is the most, if you're talking about crossing over the aisle, that is the most uniting thing that the Republicans and the Democrats could do, is unite to take down this huge sex trafficking ring, right? We're all human beings at the end of the day. We can all understand why this is morally and just totally wrong. And yet Trump, in a mask-off moment, he has lost so many of us because for years this has been a right-wing conspiracy, air quotes. It's been a right-wing conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein, sex trafficking, Bill Clinton, George Soros, right? Bill Gates, all of these people, all of these powerful people are somehow intertwined in this web. And in this mask-off moment, you betray what you campaigned upon. You literally said we are going to release the Epstein files. You have been talking about it. People on the right have been talking about it for years, ever since Epstein killed himself in 2019. We've all been talking about this. This is something that the right has been talking about, not the left. And then in a mask-off moment, all of these high-up people following President Trump said, yeah, we're not going to do it. And what do we expect the public to think? What do you expect the public to think? Of course you're defending your powerful friends that may have fucked kids, that may have been involved with Epstein in some way. Of course you're defending all of these Israel shills, these people that were probably working with Mossad, were probably working on behalf of Israel, of course. And so we see this and we don't like it. We actually hate it, and it actually makes us hate you. it also makes us think, what was this even for? We question everything because of this one particular thing. So just very frustrating that somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is real, who is a ride or die, you spat in her fucking face.
However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence.
God bless her, man. We didn't deserve Marjorie Taylor Greene. And when I saw the headline that she was going to resign, I will admit I felt a little bit like, what a coward, but I mean, as I watch this video and as I read more things that they've levied against her, man, I understand. She doesn't know the Republican Party or anybody in Washington, D.C. shit. She literally left her dying father to go support Donald Trump, to go back to Washington, to fight for a cause that was near and dear to her heart, and look what it did. No, she doesn't owe them shit.
You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention, in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only
That's very true.
to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms. And in turn,
that's also true,
be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
First off, look at how happy she looks to be leaving Congress with all of these hellish ghouls in the halls, constantly gripping power. They want power more than anything. It must be a giant weight off Marjorie Taylor Greene's shoulders to finally leave this awful, wretched place. That's an aside. Let's understand what's happening, though. Let's understand this real quick, because I want to summarize this for you just to show you how crazy this is. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, very MAGA, runs in 2019 as a representative from Georgia. owns a construction company. It's very true to the message of original MAGA, right? Trump endorses her. She wins. She is known as being kind of crazy right in the beginning. Jewish space lasers, if you remember that video, that compilation that was put together, smeared her by the left, okay? She was known as a crazy person, a crazy bitch. I've called her a cold, crazy bitch before on this program in the past. Okay, so she gets there, and all of a sudden, she's voting with the president, right? She's voting for America first, American first. And this goes kind of below the radar in the beginning. But she's gaining traction. She's gaining more and more traction. She's coming out against the Biden administration. She's coming out against the COVID lockdown. She's coming out against the trans issue, and so on and so forth. And this is really liked by the right. People on the right are saying Marjorie Taylor Greene, little crazy, but she's fighting for all the right stuff. Huh. She gets more powerful. She gets more popular. She's on all of these hearings. You see her. She's questioning Fauci. She's saying, you're not Dr. Fauci. You're Anthony Fauci to me. You're a criminal. If it was up to me, you would be behind bars, right? She's getting more popular. She's getting more powerful. More people start to like her. Then Trump gets elected. And then right after that, you have the infamous Vivek Ramaswamy tweet where he's talking about American culture and how we should be more like the immigrants and we should do less sleepovers, more science fairs, something like that. It was more studying, less extracurriculars, and he slams American culture. And all of a sudden, you start to pay attention, and it seems like they kind of turn it, and they're twisting. And as they're twisting and turning it, you realize this isn't what I voted for. This isn't what Trump in 2016 was. This isn't America first. This is everybody else besides America first. This is everybody else besides Americans. And then you start to see Donald Trump. He lets Netanyahu, over the White House multiple times. And it's like, this guy is from an entirely different continent. Why are we giving his country billions and billions of dollars to fight a war and kill innocent people in Gaza? And Marjorie Taylor Greene sees this, and she speaks up about it. And she speaks up about the H-1B issue, where we are taking immigrants from other countries, right? We're taking people from other countries. We are paying them at a lower wage to discount American work, American labor. We're paying them at a lower wage and putting them in jobs that Americans could be in. And the corporations are doing this. Why? Because these people from overseas are much cheaper labor. They don't have to pay as much as they would in America. And this is an issue. And more you're starting to see this. And she comes out against that. And Trump is in favor of that because he's made backdoor deals with China, with all of these corporations so they can have more investment in America. And Marjorie Taylor Greene sees this, and she says, hey, this isn't benefiting the people in my district, in the 14th Congressional District of Georgia. This isn't benefiting any of the people that I'm representing. This isn't benefiting normal working people. This is not benefiting Americans. And she's conservative. We watched that video. She is a true conservative, unlike Trump, who is not a true conservative. And she does all of this. Again, she leaves her dying father to go fight the cause and fight for Trump. And so after 6 years, Trump sees that she is going against him. She's going against the Israel donors, the people like Miriam Adelson, who is a dual citizen of Israel, who gave Trump $100 million to run in his campaign. So now he is beholden to her, who he has said before. I asked her, does she love Israel more? Does she love America more? She wouldn't say. Like, what? You're letting people that are citizens of other countries dictate what you do and dictate how the policies treat those other countries and benefit those other countries. And so Marjorie Taylor Greene sees all of this, and she said, enough is enough. This is not why I'm here. What you're doing is a betrayal of the American people that put you into Congress, into the presidency twice. And so I'm going to prevail. I'm going to go against you. And the Epstein files was the last thing. How are you going to knowingly cover up the biggest sex trafficking ring in the history of the country that we know of? How are you going to cover it up when you have all the power to release all the information and let people know what actually happened? Because you have interests with the billionaires that were there. You're involved with the billionaires. A lot of these people are your friends, and that's why you're not releasing it. And then there's also too the question of, was Trump involved with Epstein? We don't know because he won't release the fucking files. And so what does he do? After years of Marjorie Taylor Greene being the realest person, the most loyal person to him in the halls of Congress, what does he do? He calls her a traitor. He calls her all of these names. He levels millions of dollars against her for somebody else in the Republican Party to primary her, to run against her. as a Republican, not even as a Republican, to undermine her and to defeat her. And he won. And he got what he deserved. But Marjorie's going out on top. This is a woman. We do not deserve this woman. We do not deserve people like this in Congress. And it is an indictment on what it really is. It's all for the powerful people. It's all for the people that get in there for self-interest. And they're in the, like Dianne Feinstein, they're in there till they're in their mid-90s and they die because they're insider trading and they're receiving more money and they're reaping all of the benefits when they're supposed to be working for us. So listen, I was mad, but I get it now. I completely understand why she's resigning. God bless Marjorie Taylor Greene. God bless Thomas Massie and anybody else who's actually fighting for Americans that is going over time and time again through all the struggles, right? Trump just called Thomas Massie out for getting remarried after his wife of 30 years passed away. He called him out. And it's like, you've been married 3 times. Why are you speaking about this? But even then, you're only calling Thomas Massie out because he's actually siding with the American people. And people who are siding with Trump, all of the normal people, the Laura Luton, she's not a normal person, she's a ghoul, but all of the normal people on social media, they're saying, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene has to go. She's just like Liz Cheney. No, she's not. You're in a fucking cult. It is a cult of personality. You have to understand this. Donald Trump is not the end all be all. Donald Trump is not America first. After MAGA is gone, because MAGA is dead now, by the way. MAGA is completely dead. Once we realize this, then we can actually start to build America first. Marjorie will be back. Mark my words, she will be back. I could see her running as an independent in 2028 and really shaking shit up, but we'll see. But what do you think? What do you think about all this? I want to hear about it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out great fucking content. I'm really putting out great content, and I want you to see it. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. For as low as 99 cents per month, you can become a member of the channel. For as low as 99 cents per month, you can donate to financially compensate this channel so I can make better content for you. Documentaries, skits, anything. I have so many ideas, but I can't do it without your help. For as low as 99 cents per month, you can donate to the channel. You can financially contribute to this YouTube channel. And for that price, you will get priority comment, meaning I don't reply to any comments anymore. But if you are one of the people that donate 99 cents per month, if you're in that membership category, then more likely than not, I will respond to your YouTube comments in any of the videos, right? It shows to me that you're a member, I respond. If not, I can't respond. So that's all. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully Marjorie Taylor Greene now will be at peace and be able to live her life with her family and enjoy it. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.